Earlier this week, when I was thinking about what I would say, I thought about bringing a chair and putting it here and imagining a conversation 40 years hence with a retiring Beth Bajarski, but I decided somebody else had done something. So, Diane, thanks. Thank you for your reflection, for starting this and looking at where we've been. You know, when we begin a journey, it's essential to know that place from which you begin. You have described beautifully the passage of years that have brought us, this community, to this time in this place. These 60 years have been extraordinary. Camp Stevens has become a place in the wilderness, if you will, where God's children come and learn about God's creation and are changed by that encounter. Whether it's a camper on a trust walk, a vestry gathered to dream a new church, a family enjoying a Thanksgiving feast, this wilderness has been a holy place where God is encountered. Now, this really shouldn't surprise us, should it? For the people of God have always gone into the wilderness on their journeys to find the one in whom they live and move and have their being. The people of Israel wander the wilderness, and they are formed into a holy people. John the Baptist made the wilderness waters of the Jordan the place of his transformative bath. And Jesus went into the wilderness for 40 days to be tested and tempted for his Christly vocation. To follow Jesus and to be God's people, we are, in essence, a wandering wilderness people. And just like our forebearers, just like Jesus, we find something in this wilderness place that feeds our souls and prepares us to be God's wanderers. And maybe it's because these woods are full of mystery and unknowing. Glistening web that a spider spun. A tree miraculously growing after a fire from a burned stump. These things give us an awareness of the beauty and awe of all God has done. And this wilderness gives us a glimpse. Actually, looking out at you, it gives a beautiful picture of community of Christ, a veritable company of strangers that become friends. You never know who's going to be gathered at any given night for dinner at this place. You know, the food will be mighty fine. And you know you'll have to take a hand in setting the table and cleaning up afterwards. But as good as all that is, it's the conversation that you might stumble into that can be so glorious. Emblematic of St. Chrysostom's prayer, whenever two are gathered together in this place, Christ is in the midst and in the mix. And so in the end, this wilderness place is a place of God and a place of prayer. Today, we rejoice in the 60 years of mystery and knowing the unknowable, of community, of faith, and of God that have been a part of this place. But we cannot help but note the transition that caught in Peter's throat. The transition from Peter to Beth. I remember several years ago, one of my colleagues suggesting that all bishops were really in the transition ministry business, standing between our predecessors and our successors, providing a bridge between what was and what is becoming. Peter, you were such a transition leader. We just didn't know it was going to take 40 years. And now, Beth, it's your turn. Your turn to be a bridge, to imagine what tomorrow will bring. Imagine what the 100th anniversary of Camp Stevens will be like in 40 years. And to Beth and to all who work with her, the staff, the counselors who'll come this summer, know this: you stand on the shoulders of those who've gone before you. Lax, Sadler, and now we should note the name Bergstrom in that list. And you join with your fellow wilderness trackers and dream of the journey ahead. What we know we will encounter along the way are sights and sounds of things holy. Things simple, beautiful, and yet awesome. We'll find companions, those with whom we truly will share bread. In this wilderness, away from the hustle and bustle, if we look and listen, we can sense God with us. And so let us embrace, let us care for this wilderness. We need it like the air we